Investigative reporter Usher Qureshi.
Airlines have a policy which states they may refuse to transport a passenger who appears to be intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. Federal guidelines support that policy, but when it comes to passengers who get drunk in the air, the lines are not so clear. You're in the air and on your way. Odds are you're sitting next to a complete stranger. So what's next?
Can I get 2 rum and coke, please?
For some, alcohol is a comforting companion on a short hop or a cross-country flight.
It's my Nana. She drinks when she flies just because it helps her calm down.
For others, alcohol can be a way to forget you're flying 500 miles an hour at an altitude of 35,000 feet.
I like a little drinky drink, you know what I mean?
But for a select few, alcohol can be a catalyst for releasing frustrations, anxiety, or just plain anger.
And her daughter's next to her going, "Mom, calm down. They better give me my drink. Mom, what's wrong? Calm down." She goes, "Don't tell me what to do. I'll bash your head in."
But some experts in the industry say alcohol in the air can be a recipe for disaster.
The number one contributing factor to air rage is alcohol.
Mary Schiavo is former Inspector General for the U.S. Department of Transportation and has called for limits on alcohol service aboard commercial airliners.
In the long run, you would save yourself a lot of trouble if you simply banned alcohol from the flights, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Neither the government nor the airlines have asked to do it.
But others have, with little success. In 2001, Senator Dianne Feinstein threatened legislation if the 7 major carriers were unwilling to impose a 2-drink limit voluntarily, but nothing came of it. Industry experts say it's a hot-button issue that the airlines have fought.
Well, there's not a threat until something goes wrong.
But things have gone wrong. These are excerpts from just some of the thousands of reports in the FAA's incident database, chronicling passengers' behavior. Woman became intoxicated, went berserk. Cabin attendant had to guard cockpit door. Passenger had made a hijack threat. Couple engaged in sex acts would not stop when ordered to by crew. All of these passengers' actions were attributed to too much alcohol. And in those same FAA reports, even flight attendants urge airlines to make changes. Flight attendants are in trouble if we cut it off, and we're in trouble if we don't. I'm not a policeman or a counselor. It really should be removed from every airline.
So the incident.
Dr. Todd Curtis is an aviation safety analyst and founder of airsafe.com.
Whatever you see in the databases of the federal government or other databases about air rage and drunken passengers, in my opinion, seriously underestimates the true nature of what's going on.
There are reportedly some 5,000 air rage incidents each year.
Congress looked into this and they found that in almost every case of air rage, alcohol was involved.
The airlines and the FAA tolerate this level of risk in order to keep the passengers happy. So I'm afraid that unless there's something really, really catastrophic, such as a drunken passenger killing someone, we won't really see a policy change here.
But that may have already happened. In 2007, a passenger on board a U.S. Airways flight to Albuquerque became intoxicated on the flight. A couple of hours later, that same man was driving north on an interstate into oncoming traffic. He smashed head-on into another car, killing himself and 5 of the 6 family members in the other vehicle. It led to the state banning U.S. Airways from serving alcohol on the ground or in the air over New Mexico.
There have been instances where there have been deaths, but to date there has been no plane brought down because of alcohol, and until that happens, the FAA and the airlines will win on that point that it's not a big safety risk, even though a few people have died.
We decided to see how free-flowing the alcohol would be on a flight. So we boarded a Continental Airlines flight from Kansas City International Airport to Albuquerque with a stop in Houston.
What's the limit where you cut somebody off, or do you? 2 per hour?
But on the first leg of our journey, that same flight attendant served our undercover producer 6 mini bottles of vodka and rum in less than an hour. Each bottle is about 1.5 ounces of 80 proof liquor.
Can I get 2 more of those?
I had to lock it up for about
Our producer was only cut off because the liquor had been locked up. So on our connecting flight from Houston, he ordered even more. And more. Within 20 minutes on this flight, our undercover producer was served 8 drinks with no problems. Grand total for our one-way trip, 14 bottles.
It's very difficult to get the flight attendant's attention and say, hey, I'd like to have an extra meal or two. But it's very easy to get their attention for an extra drink or two.
In a 2001 report, the Association of Flight Attendants named free-flowing alcohol as a significant contributing factor in the cause of air rage and called for limits on drink service.
I think the flight attendants would be the first to say, yes, give us a clear cutoff point and make sure that people know we're here for safety, we're here to save your life in the event something happens, and not to mix a perfect martini.
We contacted 7 of the major airlines about their alcohol policy. Not one places a specific limit on the number of drinks a passenger can purchase. Instead, flight attendants and the crew are responsible for cutting off a passenger before they become unruly. Continental sent us this statement saying, crew members are to use good judgment and communicate with each other when serving alcoholic beverages to customers. The FAA would not provide anyone to talk to us on camera, but a spokesperson said, quote, our rules allow passengers to only consume alcohol that is provided by the airline, and that it is an airline's choice as far as what they serve. How much they serve to passengers is up to them.
Airlines make money selling alcohol, so airlines say it really affects their bottom line, and it's an important money maker for them.
With the current economy and fuel prices, airlines, like many other businesses, have been working to maintain or increase revenue streams. The major airlines reported that the newly created baggage fees doubled from 2007 to more than $1 billion in 2008. As for how much money is generated by alcohol sales, there's no telling. Industry experts describe that figure as a closely guarded secret. Usher Qureshi, KCTV 5 News.